welcome to our first look at the gigantic new content patch that dropped for Bubba Is You, Bubba Make Level, version 433C as indicated inside the current numbering system inside the game. On the Switch, I believe it is 1.0.8, so it's a patch that has been about 2 years in the making. And yeah, the major addition, of course, is the new level editor, and also a significant amount of new campaign content, which we're going to start to look at. Although, if anybody wants to drop any levels at any point, we'll certainly be willing to take a detour to that. So, let's get going. Now, this is not my original save file. The interesting thing is that originally the game had 3 separate save slots, and the save slots have all been expanded. So I have my original save slot from when the game first launched. It wasn't exactly 100% clear. I got up to about 180 level clears, which I think was reasonably close, although I got very, very stuck at one point in one of the secret worlds. Hence the gigantic playtime on the thing. But as you can see, each of the 3 original save slots has been patched in such a way that they have separate saves within the save for the campaign, as well as the new built-in level packs that have been added in, the museum and the new adventures. So we'll just begin with that, and if anybody wants to interject with levels at any point, we'll take a detour. Possibly... Whoops, did I... Hang on. Picked the wrong one here. I wanted to start with Museum first and then go to New Adventures. I keep getting mixed up with the control scheme here sometimes because I expect the B button to cancel out of a menu, but this is a one-button game where both B and A act as confirmation. So let's try this again. What I wanted to show off was that if you go to play levels, the level packs, of course, are just the ones that are built in currently, possibly with some room for expansion in the future, who knows. But that there also are a considerable number of featured levels that were developed, I believe, by testers during the very long beta that took place on PC. The level editor, however, just launched for all platforms today, and it seems like it has been kind of preceded with 19 pages, I guess 19 by 6 worth of existing creations. So a little under 120 levels, I guess. Now, let's just play. On my current save file, yeah, so I just started this standard save file in the main adventure a few days ago, just to sort of review some of the mechanics and blow through some of the simpler stuff quickly to review the game, since I hadn't played it in about 2 years. But I mean, it's fairly simple. You walk around, you push blocks, you create logical sentences, create the win condition in the end. So, key is push and open, you just push the key into the door, and any of these doors will unlock, and then the signs don't have a rule attached to them, but, this is a showcase of old and unused content. Sure, let's take a look. Love these little decorative statues and pillars everywhere. Signs like these will tell you interesting details about the levels and the game's design. There may be spoilers. Now, I did beat the original game, but as I said, I didn't get 100%, so I'm a little wary of spoilers here, but I think I was close enough that I had seen most of the mechanics the game had to offer. Anyway, let's just take a look at what the museum is going to show us, since this is new content. We might not dip in here too long if it's... oh, wow, okay. A lot of stuff, actually. Might be useful to come back here, in fact, after having finished my replay of some of the main content, but it's kind of nice to have some director's commentary. Anyway, Wall is win, Bubba is you, Wall is currently stop, so yeah, we'll obviously want to disable the wall is a wall, so it's not going to go anywhere. Alright, so we can walk with the rock. It does have a way of sinking in water. The wall is also something that you can make into U, which means you can just shift the whole thing and create an entrance. However, we'll need to shift this back up to Baba. Whoops. Ah, okay. And it activates the sign because wall is U and wall is touching the sign. You try to add a bit of extra to this tutorial for X is X mechanic. Oh, X is X in terms of an identity. Maybe so. I mean, what is the win condition in this one? Oh, the win condition is just up here. Okay, yeah, we can maybe try not to destroy that. And the rock is push. We'll just sink this and then... Oh, wait, hang on. Rock. Let's make rock is win. Cat, let me get the definition bot up because you will see that there is in fact a definition for Baba, and there is in fact a definition for Meng. Pardon me, I just didn't get it up and running. Because I haven't been streaming Scrabble very much lately, but yeah, Meng Mengi, I was actually trying to play around with the editor earlier to set up a Meng as Meng. I didn't quite get much out of that, though. Although I haven't played around with the editor very much so far. Rock is a win. Let's disable the push. And anyway, this was the commentary. Fairly simple. This is just moving the wall. Like I said, probably won't go through the museum in great detail because I don't have all of the levels that this documentary is about sort of within recent memory. I am absolutely manging about this game. Netcat, I don't know if you've played the original campaign in this or played anything in this game at all. It is one of my favorite puzzle games of the past many, many years. And I played most of the original, I think. I didn't quite get 100% because I did not manage to solve a few things, but... okay, so this is sort of a hard version of the demo puzzle, the unused puzzle that we just saw. You've never heard of it until now. It is a fantastic game. So the entire premise of Baba Is You is that it is a block-pushing game in the same way as some, for example, Zelda 2D dungeon puzzles. But the idea is that you can create valid logical sentences using the mechanics in the game. And, oh, we're destroying everything here. Yeah, sure, let's just touch the rock. Except I destroyed everything, so that was a bad idea. And the way you complete objectives in this game is that you set up the rules to do what you want. Let's reset this quickly. So yeah, we've got two rocks that we have to bust through this because water is sink. Oh yeah, no, I wanted wall is U. That's the thing that we did previously, so... And then we need to disable the rock as push. Yeah, that's fine. We just need to knock that out. Knock this out, and we are through. And yeah, it's an extremely content-complete game. In a way, it's absolutely huge in terms of how much it squeezes mechanically out of what's possible in the engine. So it won't surprise you to know that a lot of the people who swear by things like Mario Maker one-screen puzzles absolutely love this game. I think there's a huge overlap between the communities. Affection, yeah, okay, sure, let's take a look. Level empty 2. Okay. So yeah, we're getting straight into some of the slightly more advanced mechanics in the original game. This is the sort of behind-the-scenes museum tour. One of the very first levels. I think I ultimately felt that it was too chaotic. So it's kind of like a director's commentary of cut content that we're looking at right now. And this was one of the many things that was newly patched in today. Anyway, love is win. We need to get through the lava. And we probably need to... Let's see, wall is stop. We probably can manipulate the wall position. I don't really know which way the wall is pointing. But the idea is that if the wall is, you know, giving us a collision, then it should be able to go like this, and then we've got it. So yeah, it's sort of interesting because that would just required one step, and you can see why it was maybe originally intended to be one of the easier early puzzles in the game, but at the same time it had too many mechanics going on at once to really serve that purpose. So yeah, from the perspective of just thinking about puzzle level design, I'm actually really enjoying this commentary so far. One take on a design that eventually became Icy Waters. The issue is that even though I've just recently kind of started replaying the campaign again within the past week in preparation for this patch, I don't know a lot of the levels by name. Like, I recognize them here and there, but I don't really know them by the title all that well. Apart from the ones that I was really stuck on. This is the one take on a design that eventually became Icy Waters. The level is interestingly open-ended. And it was, I guess, originally supposed to be a tutorial for End. Anyway, ice is melt, ice is defeat, so we can't touch it. Lava is hot, so the idea is that we need to push, ice onto lava somehow. And the thing that AND allows you to do is tag an additional property onto one of these corners. Anyway, flag is when we need to turn something into a flag, because there is no flag that's currently here, so we need some kind of spare element, like a block of ice, for instance, that's going to do that for me. Now, Baba is melt, so I will not be able to touch lava, obviously. And so, well, I mean, we can, of course, just move this. We're just going to punch this down, and then do we have a way to do a push? Of course, if Baba is U and hot, Baba is in fact very attractive. Oh no, Baba is melt is sort of a default condition, so we can't do that. That automatically neutralizes you. What we can do, however, is try to do like a 2-word push through here to say lava is flag. Except the issue is that I don't have an extra is to work with. Because I was hoping to do like lava is flag, like pushing it over to the side, but I don't have a way to move lava is U side to side without an additional is. So we need to think about what to do with the AND condition. What we can do is ice is melt and hot is going to destroy all of the ice at once. Now the problem is, though, that we don't have... Oh no, we can do lava is flag right now. That's very quick and easy. Touch the flag, we win. And yeah, Natcat, the whole game is kind of like this, and it gets even more clever, because in the original campaign, with every successive world, it would introduce new verbs or new kinds of objects that would introduce new mechanics to the game. And you're already seeing some of the sort of intermediate level mechanics right off the bat. Baby Blue Ford, yes, I'm willing to take viewer levels. I just started the stream, and this is my first look at the museum campaign in the patch. But I normally take viewer levels in Mario Maker, and today I'm not running a cube bot because I don't know how much interest there will be. But if at any point you want me to look at a custom puzzle code, I will probably finish the current puzzle I'm on and then get to that right away. So yeah, thank you for that code. I'll solve this one first, and I'll take a look at yours. And yours will actually be the first custom puzzle I play in this game, because of course I just loaded up the patch today. Considering how simple this level is and how early it appears, it went through a lot of changes. And... okay, Baba is U, no additional AND tags behind it. Wall is stop. We can, of course, change Baba over to a star if we want to do anything with that. That might allow me to manipulate a few other things. Ice is sink. We just need to push something onto the sink. Wall is stop. Star is in kind of an inconvenient position right now. Let's just reset this quickly. We can also do star and Baba is you. That is, I think, very simple as an operation. And of course, this museum content is just showing you some of the tutorial style content, or some of the tutorials that were later simplified. So, pretty simple. Let's get out of here and look at Baby Blue Ford's first submission. Okay, so congratulations, you will officially be my first custom puzzle. Let's give it a playtest. Get new levels, use level code, and I don't know what the default code here is. It might have been something we looked at or reloaded earlier. I don't know if this is case sensitive, actually, because it would be annoying, or if it requires a dash. Actually, you know what, let's test this stuff, just to see if this is handled gracefully. Yeah, no, I guess we need to actually type in a dash and caps lock it and everything. It's too bad it doesn't enforce this stuff by default. It looks like it's a bit of an oversight in terms of just having it auto-enter a little more gracefully. And particularly because when you do shift, I mean, I don't know if it is case sensitive, but assuming it is, when you do shift, you switch between the numbers and the other thing. But it may just be some kind of issue from platform parity with the way the software is developed. Not really sure. Because typing with the shift and with the numbers on the switches may be a little inconvenient. Maybe it isn't case sensitive and we'll just try it again later. So we're going to save the level and play it. Why not? Just to try out the interface. Burning Sensation by Baby Blue Ford. Let's play. Netcat, at least there's one less character than Mario Maker. Oh, you mean in terms of the code complexity, yeah. Okay, so we've got a lot of rules to look at here. Let's take a look at the win condition first of all. Flag as win is tucked up in the corner, rose is defeat and melt, and so we need to find some way to neutralize the rose before I can actually get through. The other decorative elements like the boxes and the vines don't matter as far as I know. The only thing that we need to know is box has fire. We also need to, of course... interesting that you have belt is push here. Oh, belt is shift. Okay, I see the best belt is shift rule along the bottom. Like it is in the main game, of course. So the idea is that we need to break the box. The box has fire, the fire is hot. The fire is hot is going to neutralize the rose. You can't push the fire, so the idea is that you have to push the box on top of the rose and then blow it up. Now, is it possible to set up box is U? I don't think so, because we only have the one U in the top corner. You can, however, destroy the box much earlier and use fire is move. And then you could probably use belt as shift to reposition fire so it is pointed along the vertical, because of course I actually don't know when the box is destroyed whether the containing element maintains the same direction. I think it does. But the idea is that you would need to push... Yeah, you see the corners are set up in such a way that it would make it awkward to push the fire into the appropriate column. And so I think the idea is that you destroy the box somehow, you spawn the fire, and then you use the belts in conjunction with fire is move in order to get the fire to turn this corner. And then, yeah, you've confirmed it does maintain direction. Okay, good to know. For those of you seeing this for the first time, when I am dying here, I'm just reversing. You can undo any step, basically, up to a certain depth. because of course it's very easy to lock yourself in this style of puzzle, and so you kind of work with the undo button constantly. Anyway, Baba is you, boxes push and sink. So if it's sink, we need to kind of push something onto the box, perhaps. Or, I mean, for example, if you disable belt as push, and then you just push the box onto it, it still works as belt as shift, so that's not going to be it. Let's... And, yeah, fire is not push, so fire will need to... use move. So I'm thinking about a way to get this belt to face up going into this corner. Now notice how you would need to destroy this thing down here, and you would need it to... Why is the belt destroy? Oh, because it's sink. Okay, ice is sink. Interesting that you have ice as melt and sink. I'm just sort of thinking about how those work in conjunction, whether there's some redundancy. I mean, if it's sink, then I think the idea is that you would want to get the box down here. That's the fire. Fire is maintaining direction going right. If it's maintaining direction going down, then I think it gets tucked against a wall, which is a problem, because if you use move, it's going to get stuck? No, it's not going to get stuck. It just goes like that. Okay. Great. And then, oh, whoops. You just let it go. And then when you have the move command, you can hold position as the player by just clicking through the A button, if you haven't seen this before. So, there you go. Yeah, multiple solutions to that one. It seemed like there was quite a lot that I could do with it, with the ice positioning, in fact. I was thinking that I would need to use the belts to turn the corners somehow, but it seems like just repositioning the fire with the belt was all I needed. So, thank you for the GGs. And Baby Blue Ford, I don't know if there's a way to actually like click through to the level maker. I haven't actually really played with the interface yet. I see. So it just saves the code as a bookmark. That's how the interface works here. Whoops. Let's cancel out. Yeah, okay, so the level history just allows you to auto-type the code. That's an interesting way to implement that. It involved pushing some of the ice and messing with the push state of the belt. I don't mind looking at it twice just to talk it over more, because you didn't ask for a playtest, and you know, we have time, so we already saved it, so let's just get in here. Yeah, I mean, the ice is set up in such a way that I don't see the point of pushing it, basically. Oh, I see. So you have ice as melt and sink, but so would the idea be to use the belts to move the ice? Yes, because you use shift. Yeah, one thing that I'm kind of attentive to here is that you have some rules that are sort of spread out a bit. Well, not really that many, just like, yeah, fire is not pushed down there, fire is hot is attached to the has up top, of course. So I think in terms of readability, yeah, my eyes need to dart around a little bit to see the rules, but once I have them in mind, like, it's not too bad. I mean, we kind of made use of everything that we could make use of in the main play area, and that we were using fire's move. We were... I don't know if belt as push actually mattered that much to me in the end, because I disabled it momentarily, and fire is not push. So again, I didn't quite see why belt as push was available to me. And yeah, Luca, there are, even in the base game, a lot of puzzles that have alternate solutions. The interesting thing is that in the base game, in the original campaign, some of the alternate solutions actually become hard mode versions, where there's a hard mode variant that would, say, take away a particular piece to force you to look for a more complex solution that was already present in the original puzzle. Yeah, Baby Blue Ford, I don't know if there's anything else specific that you wanted me to look at. You said that your solution involved messing with the push state of the belts, but as you can see, I don't see why I needed to do that, basically. Because once I managed to get everything shifted down here, then it's worked out. But yeah, thanks for sending that. There's a report level button, I guess, for anybody making anything really broken or obscene. Yeah, there's actually some kind of warning in the tutorials about certain kinds of levels that would likely be deleted, like levels that are set up to break the player or be kind of extremely fussy to complete, I think. You originally moved the bottom right belt onto the left belt. You know what, let's go back into that so I can follow your description. Let's go back into it, because I would like to understand what you're saying. You moved the bottom right belt onto the left belt, which caused the ice to melt. Oh, you mean just by doing pushing interactions like this to destroy everything, right? Oh, I see what's going on there. That the ice's melt and sink combination is causing ice to sink in ice. And because the belt shift makes any pair of ice get destroyed, but any single block of ice would destroy the belt instead, because you need some kind of collision for the sink to occur. I see, I understand what you mean. So it seems like the thing you were trying to do here by having some single blocks of ice and some rows of ice was to use ice sinks into ice as the central interaction. Yeah, it is very skippable, though, I think. I was wondering for a moment if the shift would just cause the fire to resolve in an order that would bunch it up against a wall, but the fire movement resolves first, like when fire is up against here, as you saw. It just comes up here and pushes just fine. So. And then you push the box up into the ice, and yeah, because if you have the single blocks with a push, then let me try to set that up. Then it should bunch up against the wall like this, and then it should give you fire, yeah. And then if you still had the belts, and I could have kept the other one alive, then you would just set up shift such that fire's move would then turn the corner over here, right? And it seems like that was maybe the intended way to do it, is you set up a belt in the corner, and it goes up. Okay, I think I understand it. But anyway, hope that gave you some useful video footage of how my solution worked. And Baby Blue Ford, yeah, you're perfectly welcome to send more if you have something ready. This is probably not going to be the only day I stream this, although I mainly do Mario Maker on this channel. We'll probably do more of this depending on how much interest there is in things like viewer puzzles. Luca, is there any way to add some kind of clear condition? This game is literally all about clear conditions. Like, the entire game is about clear conditions. Let me show you what I mean by that. So for example, oh look, it's a puzzle that's called Condition, which is maybe wonderfully illustrative. So, Luca, if you look at this, so you see down here that outside the wall you have something that says flag is win. As you play the original campaign, you see that you very often have to manipulate the win block in order to create a valid condition. And that the valid conditions are constrained by not only the pieces that you have available, but where the rules are placed. Because if rules are placed against corners or if they're placed against walls, then that limits what kind of pushing that you're allowed to do, and it constrains the solutions that are available to you. So anyway, what were we doing? Kiki is you. We are currently trapped inside the wall. Wall is stopped. There's no way to get outside the wall. Kiki on grass is weak, which means that I can't get through unless I walk over. But then... oh, this is simple, actually. It's basically still kind of tutorial territory. So I'm kind of wondering if we'll see... Oh, okay, no, we need... Kiki is... we need flag is you, as well as... Yeah, okay, no, that's the wrong way to do it, because if I turn it into flag, flag is not win. Is it? No, if flag is you, flag should actually... Yeah, no, I need a flag as you, not Kiki as flag. Hang on. I wasn't paying attention here. Let's just... Oh, let's just do it over. Yeah, because if you are simultaneously you and win... Oh no, there's no flag though. So you actually need to set everything up such that Kiki on grass can be flag. Okay, you can't actually manipulate the you then. Okay, no, that's okay. I know how to do it. And yeah, Baby Blue Forward, I'm very frequently a puzzle player in Mario Maker as well, and we break stuff all the time, and we've had lots of people have to take things back out for patching after a good solid playtest. Because, you know, when you're seeing a puzzle as a designer, it's, I think, sometimes very difficult to predict what people will try out of desperation. Anyway, we do need to punch one of these out in order to make it over to grass. It doesn't need to be weak. We can actually punch out something else, potentially. Except, of course, the grass can't be manipulated. However, if you do grass is weak, you can just punch everything out like this. But you can also do grass is flag. Except, no, grass is grass. So the grass is grass rule means that you can't transform grass into anything else. But what you can do is you can do... like, grass is you, maybe. No, you can't because of my positioning. Yeah, the Kiki is you condition does make it a little difficult to... Yeah, so all of this stuff here is set up in such a way that makes it so that you can't really push that many pieces. However you do this, yeah, no, you can do this. Grass is you. And then, can we actually do an is flag condition anywhere? Yes, we can. We just need to punch a Kiki is flag in, and then... yeah, a bit of a weird position here. No, we can do it, we can do it. Whoops. Kiki is flag. There we go. The first level you made involved using 2 Babas and having one bonk against a wall. Yeah, there are a lot of really interesting edge cases all over this game that are about exploiting the rule resolution order, because there's a certain order where it processes your move, and then it processes the rule that you create using that move, and then it applies that rule. And there are some puzzles that depend entirely upon understanding that sequence. Anyway, does the grass here do anything? I don't think it does, except prevent empty. Any empty space that you create... Okay. Then becomes Baba. That's sort of interesting that Baba creates empty. How is it doing that? Oh, because Baba is hot and Kiki is melt. In the original version, empty is win was intended as the solution. It took some time to realize the full implications of the word, yeah. So, the interesting thing mechanically about empty... So, notice how the word you and the word melt and the word hot all have the colored background. The colored background means they can only appear at the end of the sentence, that they are objects, but they're never going to be subjects. Now, notice how empty doesn't have a colored background. So empty is a standard object that can transform into other things. So this was a level that was in the original Level Jam version. So very, very early concept. Because yeah, this game, before it was a full-size game, it was originally like this itch.io Level Jam creation that was kind of a huge hit on the indie circuit. Okay. Concept is really funny, but you never figured out a good puzzle to do with it. Yeah, oh no, I see what's happening here. That's as Baba is exiting that space, the empty space is creating more Babas. And that's why... Yeah, that's why I spawn more Babas. So it's actually kind of a pathing puzzle. So the idea is that I want to create a path that will give me Kiki as Win, and then I go up to touch Kiki. Very simple, actually, because Baba... Oh no, Baba is hot, though, and Win is going to be pushed as text. So we need to create, like, some kind of hook pattern like this. Whoops. Like this, and drag this thing. That's not going to work at all, actually. But Kiki is you. Kiki, however, destroys Babas, which allows me to simplify. And then we can punch in a Win somewhere. Except I pushed a Win all the way down here, which I shouldn't have done. I should have left it elsewhere. However, we can do like empty as you, and then that doesn't actually do much except get rid of some of the excess stuff. And then we just push down for empty as Win. Oh, except no, we shouldn't have killed Kiki. We need... No, we just do Baba as Win, and when we win. Except I need to manipulate some positioning here. Like, I don't have anything to hook this against, like with a stop. Okay, no, let's redo this. Do I have any tips for designing puzzles? I don't know if I'm much of a puzzle maker myself. I just playtest this stuff for people. I think... So, I don't know, Baby Blue Ford, if you've had a chance to look at the manual in the editor. But there are actually designer tips for designing puzzles that are in this editor. And I kind of had a glanced at them earlier, and I found them pretty interesting to look at. Anyway, Kiki is you. We're going to use Kiki to, once again, just destroy some Babas if we can. Except... Yeah, there's probably a better pattern for doing this. Let's... Yeah, because the last time I tried this, I did the sort of hook pattern on Win. By creating a hook in advance. Let's see if I can do it. You have to think about the empty logic here. Yeah, you have to go down... Hang on. There's a particular sequence. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, you go down, you have to think about how you pull this open. That's still not correct, actually. Yeah, and you walk back over. Create the hook. And then... What was the reason we didn't do Kiki as a Win? Yeah, because we do Kiki as you, and then... Kiki is Melt, Baba is Hot. And we don't have an empty space accessible anymore, so we can... How did I do it earlier? Kiki is Melt, we... did something here to get the condition to work. It wasn't empty is win because you can never actually stand on empty, so empty is win just doesn't work. Because that's one of the tips that this is telling you about. Kiki is win. Yeah, Baby Blue Ford, one of the things that I've always found interesting about some puzzles is that, you know, sometimes people see certain objects and they have this tunnel vision for how the object is supposed to be used, just based on a lot of conventional assumptions. And often many of the most satisfying puzzle solutions are about using that object in some other surprising way. So to solve the puzzle, you kind of have to realize what your assumption is, and you have to sort of falsify it and dispense with it. And I've seen some really good puzzles that are just entirely based on that concept. Kiki... we need to not destroy Kiki. How did I not destroy Kiki earlier and destroy Baba instead? Oh, we needed to shut off empty as Baba to get Baba to stop spawning. Yeah, that's right. So in order to do that, we'll just push like that. There we go. And then we just set up Baba is win if we can destroy more of this stuff. There we go. Yeah, no, I just needed to get empty as Baba out of the way. That was actually really simple. Key in the open, let's do it. Okay, so what do we have here? Me is me, key is push, fungus is defeat, leaf is you. Okay, so yeah, me is this character here. You can tell it because of the color coding. And you can also manipulate the facing direction. Now we want to get to the flag, and to get to the flag we need to create 2 keys that will get me through the doors. Because open neutralizes shut. So when an object is open, you shove it against something that is shut, and then that works out. So you'll need to use me as move. And then me is going to change directions here and there. Let's shove this stuff. Yeah, me is going to shove things here and there until we are satisfied with... Whoops. Let's walk through this again. Now, if we push up, the movement should resolve first, right? Yeah, there we go. And then it's going to push the first key. We push the key over to the left. However, we actually need to push all that key text, I think. Which means that we need to... Yeah, we actually want to push the whole key is open text over to the left, because then eventually we get me is open to unlock the second door. And Luca, yeah, I have that problem a lot, where I correctly describe the solution and I don't actually execute it until about half an hour later, because I get distracted, especially when I'm commenting on it on stream. The other issue of playing puzzles on stream is that you have to play them continuously, basically, and many puzzles, especially in this game, are much more easily solved if you're willing to take a break for 5 minutes. Sometimes I am stuck on something for an hour, and then I take a tea break for 5 minutes, and I just instantly see the solution. It is a very common experience. Yeah, I'll push the key. Whoops. Let's, go left over here. Great. And then we'll manipulate this. So the idea is that I want to push each of these key is open elements up 1 notch. Oh, you know what? Let's just... We actually don't even need to do that. We just need to push the is open. We don't need the key element at all, in fact. So what we're going to do is go... Oops, wrong way. Let's reposition. Reposition. Okay, there we go. Go left. And then move is going to unlock this door here. Great. Now we move the words "is open" into the bottom left. And yeah, Luca, definitely applies to making levels as well. I think making levels is often really just like solving a puzzle, especially when you're debugging mechanics. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to manipulate up here. Whoops, then we move this guy down. Then we shift. And then we eventually want to move both of these up. Probably by doing this. There we go. And then we do the same thing with the word "is." Up. And then we move it down. Same idea. Okay, we manipulate that again. Move it all the way over, and then we use it to push "is open." Like that. So we get move. No, not that far. Let's stop it. Then we go "me is open," and then we move "me" over here and just push it. Actually, no, we don't even need move anymore. We just do "me is open," "me is push," and "me" is going to act as our second key. There we go. So yeah, I guess a lot of this is just from the earliest alpha versions of the game. It's just all cut content, as far as I'm aware. So, pillar is word and rock is push. Now, I'm not exactly sure I remember what word does. I don't know. It's not the same thing as text. I feel like I would have originally played enough of the game to have seen word. I just don't remember what it does. And so I have to kind of go back and try that. And Luga, yeah, brain is melt. I've seen some other people on Twitch entitle their streams that way when they do play this game. Anyway, love on Kiki is hedge, so as soon as you cross over you create a wall, so you can't do that. What we want to do is we want to activate flag as win in the bottom right corner and then grab the flag. Water is sink. We need to use rocks to create bridges. What is the pillar even doing for me? I guess we want to eventually set up pillar is push in order to cross the top right. So for example, yeah, I actually just don't remember the pillar mechanic here. I know it's in the main game, I just don't remember it. And so let's just walk through some of this naively first. Okay, so you need to get through here. You need to... Pillar is word. What is that even? Oh, no, I know what it means. I know what it means. It's that the icon also functions as the word. That's what I believe it is. Which is simple then, because then you just... Oh no, you can't change that because pillar is pillar. But Let me rethink that then, because the positioning is something I need to change then. The pillar is word, rock is push. Do we ever need to go down to the bottom left? I'm not sure that we do. So rock is rock. Work is not word, though. And we can't actually push pillar. So I'm just thinking about what we can do with is here. Let's just take is. Because I think that is will be useful with this pillar here, where we go like pillar is win. Like, watch this pillar. Oh, except win is tucked in this corner, so that doesn't work. Yeah, so we need to think about the word mechanic here, because we've got plenty of places to go with that, plenty of pieces to play with. Like I said, I don't think there's any reason to go down here to this corner. Technically you can manipulate, but you can't... Oh, no, you can go backwards once. Okay, so that's important. Because that means that we can manipulate this stuff. What's going to happen is that you can do something like a rock is word, and then you can manipulate some of this stuff with push. So the way you would do this is like this. So now you have rock as push, except once you push this rock, that's no longer active, so it won't be that. Except, of course, that you can do this. Push this, and then we have a bit of an issue here, I think. Hang on. In that I won't be able to take the is down. Or, yeah, maybe that wasn't the best position to be doing this in, but however, we can do is push. Yeah, we're kind of missing one piece. No, we can do pillar is push, in fact. Or can we? What is the difference between wall and hedge? It's artwork, basically, and like you can use any elements as anything. Like you can create a wall out of rocks, you can create a wall out of pillars if you want. It just refers to the sprite. And the thing that actually matters isn't the sprite. The thing that matters is the top left rule that says hedge is stop. So when you have any object that says is stop, that means that you can't go through it when you push objects against it or try to walk through it. So as soon as you define any object as is stop, then it acts like a wall. So you could do it with water is stop, for instance. And then the boundaries would just be boundaries. Let me see if I can figure this out. Yeah, so it looks like you need to go down and manipulate the rock and word thing at least once. We're going to make one minor adjustment here. I'm going to go rock as word, and then I'm going to push both pillar and push up top. Because then we have a way to manipulate all of this stuff. Let's make enough room such that I'm actually able to take some of this stuff through. I totally took the wrong block up front. Let's do this. Yeah, let's do this instead. Give myself a bit more space. So, pillar, push, let's take all of this through. Because then you can do some stuff like this. You can do rock as push. And then pillar as push. Which... would allow me to create more water here. Yeah, we can do that. And We need a rock as push now, though, because I no longer have access to a rock, so... That's okay, because we can just take all of this through, probably. And you can take pillars through, you can take is push through... yeah, no, I destroyed one too many things here. Let's back up just a little bit. That was just a positional issue. I actually think that we should do... Pillar is push like this, and then we do rock as push... hang on, we can do this a little bit better. Yeah, let me just try to get around this somehow. I want a rock as push. You set up rock as push, and then it has to go up the row that I have it in over there. Yeah, trying to set up the pillar to be on the same row as the rock, and then give it a push, but I don't actually have room to do that. You would need rock as push to go down first, which is fine. We know how to do it. But I need to back up a few steps. So every level has the same amount of tiles? No, some of them are larger. Some of them are much wider than this one, for instance. And in the editor mode, you can configure that as well. Although I haven't played much with the editor yet, since it just launched today. So yeah, rock as push would get you through, but then you would need to take is push all the way down. Let's take it down like this. Yeah, that's actually the only correction I needed to make. Oh, except I needed pillar to be available, so I messed that up. Hang on. Let's just start over to see the solution from scratch. I'm going to do rock as word. And then we'll take everything through the center as before. Okay, great. Now I have to be fairly careful here. Not to accidentally disable things that I need. Rock as push, great. Now we take... oh, that's a bit of an issue. Didn't count on that. Well, you've got flag as wind down there. If we take is push, rock as push is going to be fine. So yeah, the conditions here, pillar is pillar and rock is rock, just exist to make sure you cannot transform rocks into pillars and pillars into rocks. Now in that case, I don't see a way that I can get 3 objects through to the right side here. That is a slight problem. Just because of the way that is push is going to work out for me here. Let me just think about this. I actually think I should have taken is word through with me. If you take word through, you've actually got a lot of flexibility. Rock is push, yeah, rock. What do you want? Pillar. Either way is fine, actually. It's going to be equivalent. Because of the rock and pillar spacing, the order doesn't matter. You either do everything with a rock or you do everything with a pillar. And it's completely reversible. So let's punch this. Let's do this instead. Oh, whoops. Needed to take this an extra tile through. Okay, Rocket's push is going to get me through here. And then... that doesn't actually allow me to push pillar, though. No, that's an issue, because we can't transform the rocks into pillars. Yeah, maybe there isn't a point to doing Word, because Word doesn't have anything to interact with, other than the flag, of course. That might be interesting, actually. Transform the flag. Except flag is a win, and there isn't really anything else I can do with that. Unless I transform a pillar. Like, if you do pillar is win. Just by... taking this through... You know what? Let's just do that. Oh, no. I remember what the problem is now. That's... you need the is on the right side here. And that the rock is located in such a way that you can't actually manipulate the is down, or can you? No, yes you can. Oh, you just do that. Okay, so we actually didn't need to interact with a flag at all if we do that solution. Yeah, so we actually didn't use the word mechanic, in fact. I could see why maybe that was a cut puzzle if it was too easy to shortcut some of those mechanics. Anyway, let's take a look at this one. Flag is win. Belt is shift. Door and lava is shut. Yeah, so the idea is that you use Kiki to push Baba. You do something with the belt, probably to transport the key. Using something like key as move. So door and lava is shut. It means that you need two objects to cut through this stuff. You do need to activate this eventually. The way you're going to do it is using move. In fact, like you can have Baba down here. You set up Baba as move, and then you have a certain timing window before Baba goes all the way back and forth and hits shut. Currently, because I haven't set that up yet, I'm free to cross the lava all I want. And the idea eventually is that you... yeah, I can just take all of this stuff to the bottom left. Let's see, belt is belt, Baba is Baba. I don't think any of that affects me. Now, why would I need belt is shift? Because that's a one-way gate for me to walk later, which means we're going to do things like this. Baba is push. Yeah, we're going to set up Baba is move to create the final condition, of course. For the time being, though, we need key as push. Yeah. And let me just get some things out of the way first. Oh, okay. No, I see the issue. If you use Kiki as a key and then the key as a key, then you need Baba to get over to the flag. And the only way to do that is to have Baba eventually wind up here. So you can do belt as push though, and belt as push would allow you to change Baba's positioning such that you can turn a corner, like have Baba come over here, get shifted up, have Baba turn over right, get shifted again, And you can't actually do that though, because U is only available on the top right corner. So you do need to remain as Kiki. So the issue is that, okay, no, you just need Kiki to stand here. You need a key to be located here. And the key needs to have push. And then you just push the key and you exit. Okay, no, that's okay, because you just need a certain number of steps for that to happen. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 steps there. 6 steps from over here. Which is plenty of room. Yeah, because all you do is you do Baba's move. Baba is going to walk back and forth, and then you just push the key. And you win. Area clear. Of course, I am going to, at some point, do 100% here, just for the sake of exploration. I will probably look at some other stuff, since we are seeing some of this patch for the first time. Okay, so that was the Museum of Revisions, but then there's a Museum of Unused Levels, and we can kind of explore that a bit as well. Although I kind of want to see, yeah, I feel like we'll want to come back and look at more of this once we've explored a bit more of what this patch has to offer. And the museum. So here are some basics. So it's going to be 15 clears for the gate here. At one point you were really excited about variant levels, and wondered if the very first level should have one. Yeah. So the variant levels were what I was talking about earlier, the hard modes that are just based on one tweak to the rule. Okay, so Baba's U, Rock is push, so yeah, this was an attempt to create a variant of the original level 1 tutorial, but I guess the thing that was introduced here was Skull is defeat. Because you would need to push the rock in such a way, yeah, you just open the gate basically. It's standard Zelda stuff. Very standard Zelda stuff, in fact. I mean, it originally goes back to Sokoban, of course. Basics? Basics. So here's the variant level. Flag is defeat and the skull is win. Oh, I see. So, yeah, you just need to read the rules. That's literally all there is there. Luca, interesting how the map looks designed like a level. I don't want to spoil anything, but that is a very, very good observation, and you should play this game so you understand why I don't want to spoil anything, but you've made a very, very good observation there. But there is some trickery with the map design in terms of how the engine is built in this game. Anyway, Kiki is move, Kiki is push, flag is win, water is sink, and all that. Okay, so we want to get over to the flag. We need 2 pieces to cross water, so we won't be doing that. We'll likely be using repositioning. This is once again probably tutorial level content, so pretty straightforward stuff. Kiki is going to be over here. We can probably manipulate the rules such that there's no Kiki is Kiki rule, so Kiki can actually turn into the flag. But then Kiki would be stuck on the other side still, so that would not quite work. My not spoiler is already a spoiler. Yeah, I'm trying not to say too much about it. I may have already said too much. But Anyway, like I said, it's a very good observation, and that's the only thing I'll say about that. Anyway, lava is melt, lava is hot. Yeah, so I can't touch lava. Oh, I have the rock, though. Rock is push. Rock isn't useful for anything else. I can't manipulate the rock using anything else either. Oh, text is melt. That's important, actually, because text just gets destroyed. However, you can probably push the text into the water because the text doesn't have float. The issue is that the text dies on lava immediately. So I'll need to think about this. I, of course, ideally would like to get a rock. Actually, if you get a rock and Kiki over, then you're probably fine. Let me just push Kiki like this. And yeah, let's just get Kiki. Oh, I need to get Kiki to push the rock, actually. Let's just do that first. But then I need to cut that off. Hang on. Like that. Okay, there we go. And then let's go Kiki as push once again to just reposition. Actually, no, this is simple. We just push both of these guys. That's it. Moss on my doorstep. Oh, let's see here. Grass's feet, key is push. Skull is on. Or Skull's not on. Skull's just in the corner, rather. I just... yeah, so you can probably do like Skull... I am the Skull. Skull on key. Key on Skull. I mean, the key is already push. Let's take a look at the message. You tried really hard to add an extra twist to the end of this level, and it never quite worked. Interesting. So yeah, we need to get through to the flag, and in order to do that, we need to push the key to the door. The issue is that grass is defeat. And if grass is defeat, and we don't have anything to move up here to the top, we can't do much to manipulate that. However, you can do something with probably Skull on key. Key is open. Yeah, I mean, the way that you would do it is probably, for example, you set up key as push. And you know that you can use text to push this, for instance. The problem is that you can't get through afterwards. So the question is, how do we safely get through grass while still being able to move on the other side? I mean, Skull is here. Like, the natural thing that it seems to be implying is Skull on key is push. You can also transform the key, but there's no particular reason to do that. Grass is just straight up defeat, so there doesn't seem to be a way to unlock that at all. Okay, so you got key as push. Now, what would Skull on key as push actually do? I mean, I can't actually manipulate the key with that, so... I think on is something I'll just need to use on the other side. You can tag something up top though, if you can actually manipulate this to say something on grass is defeat, then it neutralizes the grass condition. The problem is that I don't really have anything to push it over horizontally. Like I want to manipulate on up there and then tag it onto the grass. But the grass seems to be placed just out of the way to do that. Now, if I have key over there and I push in, what would the skull be doing for me? Notice how this slot here seems to imply that you can probably do some kind of push to negate a rule. So for example, you know, if you set something up like skull on key as push, that would not actually get me what I want, but the idea is that if you set something up like this, you'd be able to punch it afterwards. Totally doesn't work at all as I would have expected from reading this. But I feel like on is something we'll need to manipulate on the other side. Now if we do key as skull, can we actually do anything with that? With double skull? I don't think so. Because it wouldn't open a door anymore. Yeah, let's think about this. What you can do, actually, no, I know how to do it. I know how to do it. You push the key over to the other side using a word, then you turn it into a skull using key as skull. So you can disable push at this point. No, you can't. You need to use on. There we go. That's all there is to it. You key is push, to key is skull. You move the grass condition. You can do all kinds of things with the grass condition, in fact. I mean, we've solved it already, but we can now create more keys using grass is key. No, except grass is grass. So, but what we can do is we can do skull on grass is key. And then this is why we would need this slot here, because then you disable it afterwards to retain the other existing skull. So you do that, and then you need to do key as push. Oh, I can see the problem here with my positioning. Let's redo the positioning here. Put it dead center. There we go. Then we do key as push up here, and then we punch it. There we go. All done. Old sewer. Water is sink and more. I'm trying to remember what more did. That's also something that was kind of a late game mechanic in the original. Oh, it just reproduces. That's right. With each tick. That's right. Yeah. No, I remember that vaguely now, but the idea is that you move the rocks and the water kind of continues pouring. The little trick in this level is quite cute. It doesn't deal with the rule manipulation, and let's fill the too generic to include, so... I mean, if you decide to do flag as win... Oh, I see. Because if you stand here, then the rock gets pulled. Yeah, I can see why it doesn't deal much with rule manipulation. If you... Oh, interesting that if you disable rock as pull, then the water destroys it. That's really strange. Oh, I see. No, because rock as pull, just like rock as push, actually creates a collision. And yes, indeed, Baba is Mr. Electrodude, and that would mean by extension that Baba is in the chat. We can actually just do... I kind of want to do Rock is Baba here, just to... Yeah, it stops just before the flag, except... that does not stop what I want to stop. No, okay, never mind. Okay, so... you tag flag as win. As soon as you pull, then it starts flooding. So the thing is, do we have a way to manipulate and... because the end is all the way up here. And I'm trying to see if there's some way we can move it to create something interesting. I guess Touhou is kind of anime. That's a good point now that you mention it. Now that's kind of interesting. That's... aha, that's how you do it. Because now this rock is no longer pulling the other rock. You see how that works? Because this... as we push, the pull interaction stacks between consecutive objects. And so you just remove it. And then you do this. So why do we ever need the AND condition? I guess the AND condition is just showing you that text is able to work as a blocking piece against the more rule. Okay, public park rules. Key is key. As we were saying earlier, Luca, the play area is in fact extensible. You can see that this is a much wider level. Anyway, so the has command means that when something is destroyed, it creates something else. So if key has Baba, for instance, and if key gets destroyed, it creates more Baba. Grass is shut. All is weak. Now that's an interesting all command because it means that so long as the all is weak command is up and running, you can't actually touch anything. But key is not push. Okay, so you can't do much with it. If you do key has Baba, then you just straight up destroy it, which is not what we want, but I was curious. However, you can do key has key and just become the key. And you destroy the flag if you do that though, but you can do that. You don't destroy text though, so at any point you can just take that out. And that's a win. Yeah, Mr. Electrodude, it may not be how English works, but the thing is, the way that rule would actually be resolved inside Baba is you is that it would just resolve as Electrodude is shut. And then the up is totally extraneous. Okay, lift. So, wall and hedge and tree is stomp. Oh, this is going to be a make level, which is always fun to work with. Let's read the signage. generally try to avoid giving levels names that directly relate to the intended approach. What is this? It's called lift. Okay. Felt too trivial, and you liked the general idea behind the solution. Yeah, there's something that you tuck into this corner. It's going to move and push. Wall and hedge and tree is stop. You need to plug something in here for wind. And then you need to use up to manipulate something that is using the move command. So the make command works like this. I'll just show you as a demonstration. If you do something like Baba make Kiki, then you leave behind a trail of Kiki like this. And so that's how that functions. Now, we need to get something here. The only way to do that is to push something from up here, and the only way to do that seems to be using Baba. Unless... yeah, like these corners are set up in such a way that you can't actually push any words through to the right side. So what can we actually manipulate here? Let's think about that. And yeah, Electrodude, I guess you are a door. So we'll see whether anybody figures out how to stick in a key and unlock all of your secrets. I think I understand how to do this. You use Baba make Kiki. You create an entire row of Kiki, and then you use Kiki as move in order to push Baba is you all the way up top. You push Baba is you to this location, and then you push over here, so Baba is you and Baba is win. So, we're gonna do Baba make Kiki, and then we're eventually gonna go Kiki is up in order to... whoops. Oh, this tree is very annoying. Hang on. This tree is stop. So we just make a trail of Kiki. We get Kiki to face up. And then we get Kiki to push like that. And we're done. Okay, beyond a river. Also, Baba is you as opponent with you. I think you might be right about that, Luca. I mean, it's the most obvious thing that does come to mind. But I don't quite remember much about the origin of the character otherwise, but I think you're probably correct. Okay, so what are we taking a look at here? Oh, it's a swap level and a teleport level, which is honestly one of the slightly more annoying things to do in this game. I had a lot of trouble just sort of timing things correctly with the swap mechanics. It's a great mechanic, it's just that it can be very fussy to execute. Anyway, key is open, wall is shut. That means that at any point, if you push the key, it's going to punch through, except you can't push it yet. What are we looking at? The win condition is available up top. We probably want to use rock as a teleporter. Like you would push the word telly up top, so rock is telly and swap. Ooh, telly and swap is going to be a weird combination. Weird combination. Anyway, yeah, let's figure this out quickly. we can probably... Oh, wall is wall. Key is not win, but key is potentially a second Baba. But then you would need Baba is open in order to do anything with that. So that's probably not useful. You can do wall is open and wall is shut though. And if I understand that correctly, that should just blow up. Yep, great. That is exactly how it works, and you can read the signage. If you telly an object that's swap, shouldn't a telly endpoint swap with a teleported object? You see, I'm trying to think about how the rule should resolve, and I actually have no idea. Although I don't remember if I used that in the main game, but... Oh, this was a scrapped idea, and that's exactly why. It felt logical in a way at first. The level showcases the addition of extra obstacles out of fear of the solution seeming too obvious. Yeah, you can see when you look at some of these cut puzzles that there are a lot of extraneous elements, and that the puzzles in the original game are much more streamlined in some ways. Like, you have a lot of extra stuff that you can do, like, you know, unlocking the wall, which is sort of disconnected from the rest of the solution, at least so far. But anyway, the idea is that we're going to... we don't have a wall anymore unless we want to create more walls, so we'll just... do something about the telly... And, yeah, sure, let's just say that we're not going to use walls anymore. And we'll just go wall, wall, wall. Unless we need some kind of swap variable. So, the key is not push. Let me think about this. Oh, I see, yeah. So, for example, if you push... Oh, that's... Yeah, and then you need to swap in the win. What if then I push that in? Yeah. That's why the swap mechanic is very fuzzy. Because it can be a little hard to predict what you're doing here. But if we place win there, then we just go... whoops. Yeah, you need to collide with something in order to... Yeah, if you push an object, then you swap over. But if you push two objects, then you swap the second one over. Which is interesting. Yeah, okay, so... If you wanted to push is, then you push... Oh, no, hang on. Would do, like, is and... Yeah, tons of extraneous stuff here. And what if I teleport in at this point? Okay. I have two elements here. Let's watch one beat of the teleporter. And if I try to push into the teleporter that way, nothing happens. You can do that though, and then I would once again have some issues getting across. However, I did move win over. That's actually really important. Whoops. Yeah. Swap plus telly. Yeah, I can see why that was cut. Okay, so we actually do need two elements here to be transported across. Here we go. We actually have it at this point. It's just a little bit fussy to set up, but we just plug in keys. Oh no, key is not win. We can't do that. Okay. I totally forgot key is not win. You can turn key into a wall though, probably, and oh, except I used all the walls up top. Okay. You can turn a key into anything, actually. You can turn it into Baba, and you can just use Baba and win. You can actually just simplify things and just use Baba is you and win, and then that's it. Yeah, it's just that, like, it's possible to manipulate this in a consistent way. Like, you need to be 2 blocks apart and you need to push an object into it, and then you get transported in. Not because of the way the rules are solved. It's very strange. Like, shouldn't the tele endpoint swap with the teleported object? Yeah, I guess I understand what's going on. That if you look at the endpoints... No, I don't understand how it works, actually. You push is... Yeah, you see how is and rock swap with each other, and then you enter the rock as a teleporter, like this. That's how it works. So once you have a systematic way of doing that, then it makes sense, but... It does feel a little too weird, I think, to combine both those mechanics. Hey, we've got some bonus levels. Let's take a look. House A, what does this say? The idea of a set of puzzles being iterations in the same idea, but with small adjustments to increase the difficulty, is very intriguing to me. Well, you can tell when you actually play this. Anyway, we've got a key. Key is open. We can see that the issue here is that key is not push. And in order to get it to be push, what do you need to do? I mean, you can do... You can do the sort of swap method, where if you have an extra is, the thing that you can do with it, and you know what, we'll just move the entirety of the rules upstairs. If you have an extra is, then you can swap the is you all you like. And it's a very fundamental method in this game. That you create a kind of step ladder formation. Let's move this. So the idea is that you can swap over the key by just plugging in U like that. And then, now that you've got this, you can manipulate well, a whole bunch of stuff. You can do Baba is you, you can do Baba is... you can transform the key into Baba if you want. Like, you can transform, and then you can do Baba is open. Except now my position is a little bit uncomfortable. Hang on. Let's... Yeah, you can just do this. You can punch out the is. You can get back here and drag open down with you to expend one Baba. Punch that, get that, that's done. Oh wow, there's a whole sequence. Yeah, because this is a demonstration of the escalating sequence of puzzles, let's just do it. And so yeah, now you're missing the extra is, which indicates to me that we'll probably need to form some kind of cross. You can still do key as Baba, maybe. Oh, maybe not. Because now the positioning is not quite convenient. But we can fish all of this out right away, just so we have all the pieces that we can work with. Anyway, you can do a few things here. You can do Well, I mean, you still can't push the key, but... Yeah, you would need to think about the open rule. Then... Doors stop and shut. You can transform the flag into you, but you can't transform anything else into wind, so that will not be it. Yeah, you can do key as you, and then you can do key, and then you can do Baba is key. Then you have 2 keys. And that should be the thing that works. Because then you just spin all this stuff around. Like you do key up here. And then you do key is open down here. And then that's it. And then we'll continue with the sequence. Why not? Okay, key has box, Baba is you. Key has box is swappable. You would need to swap it, I think, for box to become a key. You can also do key has key in order to just have a continuous sequence. In fact, if you come down here, manipulate all of these rules down here, we can set this up pretty simply. You do need to eventually use an is in order to move things up. So for example, you use box. And then you would want... Well, you would need it to be open. And I don't have an additional is. So let's see about this. The only way to destroy an object here is to plug it into the door. So we can do box is key and box is open. But then how do I move that? Hang on. Well, one way to do it is to, once again, turn everything into a key. So for example, whoops, my position is way off now. For example, you can do boxes Baba, and then you can, well, hang on here. Let's manipulate it like this, just so open is still manipulable. So yeah, now box is useless now, so we can just throw it out. You can turn Baba into key and then just set up key has key, which is the only doubled word here. Yeah, maybe so. So you just come over here. We'll just set up key has key and then Baba is key. And then, no, we're actually missing in the open. Yeah, okay, no, we're missing one piece for that. And, yeah, Mate, you returned from a kitchen cupboard. Welcome back. Well, we can transform Baba into keys, first of all. We might actually want to do that first. Get a key as you. Whoops, we need a Baba is key in order to do that. Hang on, let's just try to set things up a little more elegantly here. Whoops. Hang on. That's not elegant. Yeah, create a little bit of room here. We're going to punch this up eventually to create key as U, while at the same time, we want Baba is key to activate at the same moment. Box is kind of in the way at this point, so I was saying. And then we'll finish with key has key somehow. But we want 2 keys because of the way that you have 2 instances of word key, which means that it gives us the most flexibility. So yeah, we've become 2 keys. We need key is open and we need key has key. It's going to take me a moment to manipulate this. Okay, let's just try to set this up properly. Whoops. Squeeze through some of this. Yeah, I wanted the is on the other side. In fact, let's see if I can do all the pushing mechanics here properly. There we go. Oh no, I kind of punched open into a bad position here. Okay. I punched is into a bad position here. Okay, there we go. Key is. Key is open, key has key, key is U. There we go. Yeah, pretty straightforward stuff. So we're going to see another variant here. This is going to open up a few things, actually. Notice that flag, there is no flag. Then why wouldn't you just do... Okay, flag is on the top row, though. It can't be moved off the top row. What you can do is, once again, move some of this stuff. Like, why wouldn't you just do boxes flag as win? Done. Okay. Oh yes, because that's just setting up this variant where key is open. I mean, you can potentially swap the box into a doubled element like the key, and then yeah, you would just need something to be destroyed in a way that has a flag. So for example, flag is a win. Let's just move everything up. Some of it is probably redundant, but we do need all of this. I'm going to constrain way too much space here. Once again, I like the idea of doing key is U combined with hang on. Yeah, I want a key to become U combined with Baba is key. Yep. So we can set that up. That would be great. This is not the best position to do this in. No, hang on. We wanted the is up top. No, we don't. We can just do this. Baba's key, key is you. Except I haven't actually broken out a key yet using the box. I actually need box. Maybe is key rather than has key. Let's. I mean, yeah, the more we can double up on certain interactions, the better we'll be doing. Sure, let's just do box is key. And then we create two keys. We then do key is open, but then key also has to have flag. That's fine, and we maintain key as you. So key is open. Let's move everything over. Key has flag. Flag is when we punch this, we grab it. All done. Perfect Crime A. Let's see what this is. Got 4 dots in that, extra 4. Okay, flag is win. We've got doors all over the place. Let's read the commentary. This is part of the point here. I am the lava. You were extremely proud of this duo back when you first made them. Returning to them 3 years later, they don't seem quite as exciting and we're actually a bit broken, so... Let's see, flag is win. Well, lava and key can't be transformed into anything, but I can transform who I am. I don't see a has command anywhere, so the box is not doing too much for me. So yeah, we've got one object right now. We need to think about whether there's any kind of a duplication, perhaps. I think I can see why this might potentially be broken, in fact. If we transform... well, maybe not the flag. The flag is definitely something that can be swapped into a different object, though. It's just that you can't swap lava or key to it. So, box is transformable, flag is transformable. That's the important stuff to keep in mind. So we don't want to transform box into lava or key because that would be irreversible unless we somehow create 3 objects. And yeah, I'll just have to think about this for a moment. Interesting, wall is shut, door and wall is stop. So we actually need to manipulate something with the door. Then, because the door, interestingly, is not shut. Which means that to the extent that you have a key, so for example, I can show you. Let's say when the box is open and push. The box doesn't break the door. The box breaks the wall. That is potentially pretty interesting here. Except we would then need to figure out what to do with all the doors then. We might need to transform something else into the flag. And what was this saying? Yeah, extremely proud of some pair of levels. This is, of course, just part A. Yeah, it might be something to do with the AND command. Oh, you know what? We're going to use the AND command to duplicate items, I think. We can totally create duplicate items. So for example, let's say we go... I think that's totally going to be what it is. Let's say we go box is lava and key. Except we needed to activate that at once, because otherwise box's lava gets resolved first. And that does not do me much good. For example, we do this, we get a sort of double stack here. Which is great, because then you can punch through to flag as win. The issue is that you still don't have a way to manipulate the doors. But if you transform the flag into something else, or actually just make a different win condition entirely, then you might be in good shape. So for example, let's say we do key... well, you can't transform that anymore. Lava is you. So, for example, every time you punch things out through the wall, we need to think about which walls to break then. Because you can take something like the win condition and punch it all the way down, and that would be actually quite useful. So let's say we do lava is you and open. We actually want to do key is push and open first, because then we break one wall like this. Then we do lava is you and open, and then we can break a second wall. This was not what I wanted, actually. I wanted to do something to manipulate the win condition. But given the positioning of the win condition, I think maybe that's the best I can do. What we can do, however, at this point is create an is win condition, or to use the flag to duplicate something else. Green Star, this game is about pushing blocks to create logical sentences and conditions that then give you victory. So, for example, right now, what I want to do is I want to, for example, set flag is win and then touch the flag as one possible solution, maybe. But you can also change objects and properties as you go, just by pushing the rules here and there. So I beat the vast majority of the original game when it was released 2 years ago. But there was a huge content patch that just dropped today that adds a maker mode as well as tons of new puzzles, including some of the cut puzzles from the prototypes of the game. So I'm currently looking at one of the original prototypes that was cut during the alpha process, which was added to the latest expansion of this game as a special feature behind the scenes. So anyway, we did the boxes, lava, and key thing. There probably is some other kind of duplication that we can do here. But yeah, right now we're missing one item, and we also don't know what to do with the door condition over here, because that's entirely stopped. I think the solution is going to be that we need to set something else as the win. Not the flag. I mean, if you break the right kinds of things, it is possible to maybe create an is you condition that will allow you to move everything. No, the red stuff is door. I am currently lava. So for example, I'll show you how the beginning of this puzzle looks like. So I'm currently the patch of lava because lava is you. If I wanted to transform into the box, what I would do is I would do box is you. And now when I move as the box. That's how it works. Let's see here. Well, fundamentally, I don't know what to do with the doors because the conditions don't really give you anything to manipulate that, which tells me that we don't manipulate the doors. What we do is we have to create some kind of passageway through here such that we can set something else to win. And so I know how to use box for item duplication. It's going to be box is lava and key. But I don't know how to do any additional duplication beyond that. I really believe that box is lava and key is going to be one of the most important things to do here. That's what we've established so far. That gives me 2 objects here, and it allows me to break 2 walls. Now if we... whoops. It allows me to break walls only if I use the open functionality. Does every text block have to be used? No. There are in fact a lot of puzzles where you do not need to use everything, as well as hard mode puzzles that actually take some pieces away, because if you take some pieces away, there might still be a valid alternate solution. Box is lava and key. Well, we've done that already, so if we, whoops, do key is open and push, or lava is open and push. Yeah, if we do this, that's where we were earlier. It allows me to break through the wall. Except, no, I need it to be open, not push. Yeah, it might be something else that's going on here. So I know how to create 3 elements. I don't know if there's a way to create more than 3. We also could potentially transform the flag into something else. But I don't see how that will be useful yet. Would key is lava work? No, because see down in the bottom right, these conditions that say lava is lava and key is key, they exist to prevent you from doing that. So for example, if you do lava is key, you'll see that this is crossed out because it violates this condition down here. When you see the identity property, lava is lava, what that means is that you cannot transform lava into a different kind of sprite. Let's reverse out of this. Let me try to reposition myself a bit. So yeah, right now I don't see that any of this stuff on the bottom right can be manipulated. It is just a hard series of rules. We can... yeah, break open 2 spots. If I push win, I want to get text up to win. If I get something else is win, what would that be? It could be lava is win, except I would lose lava is you, so... yeah, that's gonna be tricky, I think. But if you do key is you, then you push 2 of these objects up. We can actually just push lava. Okay, no, I think I have an approach. Let's do this. We need the end. Maybe. So let's say we manipulate this to key as you. Then we got all 3. Then we disable the lava condition. And because I want to turn the lava into something that I push. Because then I can do some interesting repositioning. Maybe. If I destroy one object down here, I'm trying to see how I can get win out of there, or alternatively, yeah, if you destroy 2 blocks going in this way, and then you can turn something else into win. Problem is, we still need 2 separate elements because key is you, key is win. Okay, no, I think I know how to do it. Although the position is going to be a little bit rough, I think. You go lava is... well, eventually you would want to get you up there. That's a little difficult given the current situation. Okay, so I'll walk through the current idea that I have for this. Is that you do something like this. You do lava is open and push, for instance. And that allows you to create an open passageway. Like this. And then the idea is that you want to shove some additional tiles here to create something is win. Not flag is win, but something else completely. The issue is that you don't really have much space to work with. Because right now I only have one element left, which is key. And if key is me, I can't actually put key is win in this position. Because you would need to have key is you, and then key is win. So you would need horizontal key is you, but then you would need to manipulate it such that it actually fits the position. Actually, no, what if I just break the top 2? No, that wouldn't work. That wouldn't work. Interestingly enough, if you use the flag, like if you create like a flag is you, then you're still able to continue playing the level. What do you think about this? Yeah, this is a strange one for sure. You can, yeah, is there any point to transforming the flag into something else? I don't see that there is, because the flag still wouldn't be able to get out. So long as that door is stopped. Interesting. bit broken, you say? Well, we can get... Yeah, we can get key as win, but then... I guess if you find some way to turn the flag into another usable object... Well, the problem is that the flag is in the top left corner. So if you do flag is something, then you're not able to manipulate that something any further. Yeah, so lava's been dead already. Let's restart this just to rethink it. So anyway, I know how to create 3 objects. I don't know what to do after that. And yeah, we know that you don't manipulate the doors, you manipulate the walls. Why does it matter that I manipulate the walls? Because I'm looking at a top left corner and thinking, like, what can I do to get win out of that position? I feel like I would need more than 3 elements, in fact. If you do like a flag is box, and then a box is something else. Yeah, because the thing is, the flag can be duplicated, the box can be duplicated, the other 2 cannot. And the way to do that was with a flag is A and B condition. Anyway, like I was saying, sometimes the best thing to do in this game is to step away for a bit, but it's nice to actually have a challenging one today because we've mostly been doing more tutorial-sized content. Particularly some of the cut content that is in the game's newly added museum. So we don't see a has... Is there a way to do the cross? How can I open the doors? In this level I can't, actually. In this level I open the walls instead. So you see this condition here that says wall is shut. Whenever you have something that's called shut, then it is neutralized by something that is open. So for example, I'll show you. So let's say box is open and push. If you push the box into the wall, the box and the wall destroy each other. If, however, you do, say, lava is open, then when you walk into the wall, that neutralizes. Now, in most other levels, it doesn't say wall is shut. In most other levels, it says door is shut, and then so the door would react to something like a key. This one, you need to think a little bit outside the box. You need to think a little bit differently. I wonder that even if the lava condition is set to lava is lava, could you do a duplication? No, because everything just gets X'd out. I still like the starting idea that I have. Which is boxes, lava, and key. I still think that's really, really promising. It's just that I, at this point, have no objects left to do anything else. So maybe I don't need that yet. Maybe I need to... think of some other way to manipulate this. I may put this one on hold and go back to it, because as I said, it's very useful in this game to do that instead. But this is curious. Key is open. Yeah, so the box... Is there any condition that we haven't considered? I don't think so. You remove 2, you get flag as win, which I'll need to manipulate. I can assign something else to win, or I can assign something else to the flag. I'm just looking at the potential paths for creating 2 open passages here. And yeah, it's actually not very conducive to doing that. There might be something involving the mechanic where when things don't have collision, you can push text on top of them, and then you can use that stack afterwards to manipulate how to split the text up again. So that's used in one of the more famous puzzle sets in the original game. The problem with flag as you and win is that you would need to find some way to push is you into that location without losing is you. Do you see what I'm saying? You have to have something is you in order to actually play the level. Because when you have nothing assigned to is you, you are in an unwinnable condition where you can't move. There are some levels that actually use this, where you temporarily disable that condition and then you have to re-enable it by letting objects have some auto movement. But that's not going to be what it is in this puzzle. No, I was definitely thinking that as well, like doing flag as you and win. But I just don't see how to set that up. Because, you know, how do you... Like, you push lava is you beside the flag. How do you push lava and still have a chance? I might need to go back to this one. It's got to be something with the AND condition. The AND condition can add quite a lot. That can get pretty interesting. The main issue that I'm running into is just that lava and key are dead ends when it comes to transformation. You could turn the flag into 2 objects, but there's no point in doing that over there. Yeah, I may need to go back to this one. Let's keep that one in mind for now. It is an advanced bonus objective level, so... Let's try to at least finish up the sort of standard partial clear in this world. In a prior attempt I had made flag as win. How did I do it? Let me go back and show you. I'll show you my pattern, just so you know what my progress is. So the way I did it was this. I used box is lava and key, because box can transform it. Whoops. Box can transform into other objects. So I do this, and a box turns into lava and key. Next thing I do is you would do lava is open and push. Whoops. Hang on. So you would do that. Hang on, let's... Actually, you don't even need push. Yes, you do, because what you do is... manipulate all of that, and then do key is lava. Actually, no, why did I do that? Key is lava. Oh no, because you can't transform to 2. But what you can do is key is you. Whoops. Hang on here. Trying to reposition myself slightly. Yeah, just do a bit of repositioning. That way, what I did was key is you, and then I opened 2 locations. And they can be any 2 locations as long as one is in the outer layer and one is in the inner layer. Except I think there's probably something I can do to manipulate this further. So I can go through here, I can plug in flag as win. So I'm right now considering whether it is possible to put some other words here. And you can, but then how do you match it up to the win condition afterwards? So for example, if we really want, you can do flag is box. Just to demonstrate. Oh, you actually can't because of my positioning on this. Yeah, I would need to have broken this here instead of this one. Yeah, but the issue is that I don't see how transforming the flag does anything. You're still trapped in there. I mean, it gives you some extra movement, but it's not useful if you're isolated from everything else. Anyway, we'll go back to this one. Maybe not in this stream. I do want to just see more puzzles right now. And that was the one that we spent the longest on today. It's the only one so far that I actually just have not been able to do. But it will just take a fresh perspective, I think. Anyway, Baba is you and weak. We disable weak. That's simple. And then we're going to do something with the teleporter. So let's see, the box. You would need box is weak in order to spawn a key on top of it. So for example, you can do like box is push and has key, for instance. In fact, if you do box is you can manipulate both boxes. But you don't want to do that because you want to use the box as a teleporter. Which is what the tele command is. For the tele command, you're always looking for multiple objects that are of an identical type. Interestingly enough, you can actually do some of the object duplication I was talking about earlier. So for instance, if you go box is key and key, or key and key, you create 2 objects. Then what you can do is you can do key actually, let's do a bit of unstacking first. But you can do key. Whoops. Is, for example, Kiki and box. Suddenly you have a lot happening. Oh, we have an additional and as well. Wait, what was I doing? Oh yes, no, I just wanted to push the key using Kiki. Actually, that's really interesting. That's really easy. I don't need to use the teleport condition at all, in fact, to do this. Because Kiki is open, I actually want Kiki is push, and I want key is U. Yeah, a fair bit of red herrings in this one, actually. I know, I want key is U. Oh yes, I need to do the push. There we go. Fairly simple. I feel like I've slowed down a little bit after the puzzle. So what is Telly? Telly is teleport. Let me show you how it works. If I can show you. So you see how you have two boxes here? I'm going to try to set up box is Telly for you, and you'll see how it works. So first of all, though, we need to create box is Kiki, let's say. And oh, okay, no, Kiki and key, yeah. So same idea as before. Now watch this. Now we're gonna do Kiki is push. And let's go say Kiki has box. So what's going to happen is Kiki is going to destroy the door. If I use the key to push. And once Kiki does that, whoops, don't want to do that. Hang on. I'm going to push Kiki into the door. Kiki's going to unlock the door and then drop a box. Oh, wait, no. No, we'll just transform the key into the box afterwards, actually. So let me just push. Now, Telly matches to existing objects. So let's say boxes Telly. No, we need to do a little more than that first. We're gonna do Kiki is box. Wait, no. Was the positioning always that bad on Kiki? I don't know, maybe. Anyway, Kiki is box. And then, let's say we set up... the key is over here. Okay, that's fine. If we can't get it back. I was hoping to set up key as Telly. No, we can do that. Actually, no, we got two boxes. We can just do boxes Telly. Let me just get a nice open position over here. Whoops. So the idea is that you do boxes Telly, then when you walk into a box, you transport into the other box like that. And so if you had like key is open. Then you would just bust through a wall up here, and then you would win. A key is open next actually there by default, so we just need to figure out what else is going on here. Whoops. Yeah, I can see why they removed some of the sort of push-related conditions. Ah, no, it's because the door is the thing that is shut now. So door is shut. Key is open, not the key. Okay. So you actually need key is key. Yeah, you would need 2 keys, not 2 keys. To open this one and touch the flag and win. We've already won a the other way though, so I don't mind having up for now. Let's do at least one more so we can finish up the sort of standard benchmark for this world before we eventually do the rest. Dangerous garden. Okay, Ghost is hot, Baba is you. And Hedge is hot. So the idea is that I need to get over to Love, and I need to do something with the Ghost to probably carve a path through the hedge. Now, how will I do that? Hedge is hot, and Hedge prevents me from transforming the hedge into something else. I can't do Rock is hot, unfortunately. But I can do Push. And if I do Push, I can do this kind of thing. Which is interesting. But doesn't quite give me what I want. Yeah, Hedge can't be manipulated. Okay, so yeah, Baba is melt, Ghost is hot, can't really be manipulated. I need to find some way of getting to the bottom myself. Well, we know how to push the hedge, we know how to push the rock. We know that I'm going to melt if I touch that at all. I also can't touch the ghosts. I can't touch the hedge or the ghosts. So all I have is this rock. How do we manipulate the positioning of the ghosts to get things to come back up? Well, let's think about that. Rock is going to do what for me? I mean, I can block off the ghosts, but the ghosts don't have their own movement in this level, so that isn't actually useful. I feel like I need to do something else with the hot condition. This is very nearly something. Well, what can I manipulate other than that? Let's see it. I mean, I can create columns all I want. Yeah, at this point I'm probably just missing something really obvious. Yeah. I'm trying to see if there's something else I could do here with the the rock pushing. Yeah, you can't do hedge as rock. You can do rock as hedge. Although I don't see why. Baba is melts. I still think hedges push is probably the most promising thing here. It's just that we don't have an appropriate position for it yet. Hang on. Needed rock. Yeah, that pushes. Very curious. Well, if I could get something down to manipulate Baba is you, that'd be great. I mean, at some point I actually do need to traverse to the downstairs for this level. Like the bottom half, rather. And so I need to think about how it's going to happen at a time when you can just push against hedges but not accomplish anything else. Okay. So you can't transform a hedge into a push. No, you can, but you can't transform it into a rock. Possibly, if you have rock as push, I could push some text down there. But I don't see what that does for me either. Even at a very elementary level of showing off some of the really standard stuff. Yeah, if you push that with the LEM-related content that's tied to this block, I'm just really tired. I don't know what I was thinking of. Lem all of a sudden, like Stanislav Lem, the author of Solaris. I think I'm just getting a little bit scrambled. Would really like to get this clear though. So you get rock as push. Where can the rock go that would do something to work with hedges push? Like you put a rock on top. Notice that you just pass through the rock like that. Because rock as push has been disabled. Might be something similar to that. Tricky. I mean, what else could I possibly manipulate? Because I'm looking at the starting conditions here, and I don't actually have that many options to play with. I have hedge as push, I have rock as push, I have rock as hedge, which I can't see that would do anything interesting. We can try it, but yeah, it just gives you more hedge that is expected. Now, Ghost is hot. I wonder what else I can push down there that I can make melt. Oh, you know what? This is silly. What's is actually setting the wall condition? Because I don't see anything defining. Oh no, wall is stopping at the top left. Okay, never mind. I was wondering what was going on with the walls, but rock Rock is push. Can I ever push enough to actually make my way down? I wonder if you can get text on top of this. Just, text is just part of the push. I feel like you need to escort the rock down somehow. By reactivating rock as push. And, oh wow, okay. We've got a raid from the Scrabble community asking to bring back the Scrabs. I really should. Extra Typo and Jello Mochas, welcome. Let's give a shout out to the Scrabble crew, which is watching me kind of stick my way through this. So, hope the words were going fine over there. This is new content that came in today with a puzzle game that I've played a couple of times in the past. And Jello Mocha seems to be aware of it already. Yeah, this is a new content patch that came in that brought in a whole maker mode, as well as restoring some of the cut content from the alpha test, which is currently what I'm doing. I'm doing the new alpha test world in the museum that was patched in today. And I was doing fine earlier. I've been slowing down and getting a little bit tired, I think, so. The puzzles have kind of gotten a little bit sticky. But yeah, I really should get back to Scrabble streaming at some point. I haven't been playing much at all lately because some things went back to over the board and I haven't always been able to make it out to some games. Glad to see that's Extra Typo over at your stream. You're kind of holding the fort, though. I was watching the other day when you were displaying the old British documentary from that tournament back in 99 or 2000 or thereabouts, and that was tons of fun. And yeah, I see that New Orleans in January is shaping up to be a little bit of a mini streamer convention as well, so hopefully we get some Scrabble video content out of that as they have in tournaments past. What was I even doing here? Yeah, I figured out how to do a hedges push, which is not getting me anything. I can't get through the wall. Now, if there's some way for me to... Like, I don't see anything else I can actually manipulate here. That's the issue. You can turn a rock into a hedge, but then why would you want to do that? Like, you can turn a rock into a hedge, but then you can't push it. And there's no reason to do that. Ever. And Scrabble Kitty, welcome. Glad to see you here. Rock is push. You can push the rock, you can push the hedge. Can you do this at the same time by setting up like a corner with push? I don't think you can. And how do you actually do this? Because I'm thinking that, you know, if you have hedges hot, if there's a way to set up anything else to melt against that, then you just kind of push that and set up a boundary for the ghosts. But there's something that I'm just not seeing here in terms of the space of possible interactions. Now, because hedges rock is not available, there's something I don't get. Yeah, we may skip to a different one until I have had a chance to think about this. Dangerous garden. Let's just dip out for a moment. That's 2 in a row now that I've actually had trouble with. For the first time this sitting, like we were blowing through tons of these puzzles earlier. Okay, more, as we know, is just going to create a whole bunch of growth and it's going to flood the zone. So yeah, because we're playing some of the sort of alpha test content that's been restored for Curiosity, there is a bit of a creator commentary. Because this is cut content, as I was saying, and this was apparently the earliest level that was using the More mechanic, which is something that just sort of grows a particular tile as you manipulate it. Anyway, the objective here, get to the flag. We're going to get through 2 doors. There's nothing else you can do to open a door except using key as open. So you're going to need to do something with this spot here. Probably just multiply keys using key as more, except you would need to not have door is more. Probably not have door as push either. Actually, no, here's how we're going to do it. We're going to do key as push initially. Door is stop, so that's going to override nothing. Flag is win is chest content right there. Yeah, that's actually very true, except you would kind of need to reverse the player positions to make that happen. Was this is... Oh wait, was this is actually in a position I could manipulate? Yeah, I needlessly pushed that against the wall. Let's not do that. Let's... Oh, I see. No, because when I was getting push out of there, I pushed it against the wall. Yeah. Let's do that instead. Push... So we want to do key as push. I'm going to get key into this position here. We need to multiply keys. Oh, I see the problem here. Okay, no. This is going to be an issue. Because I think if key is push, then key is going to block me like crazy. But if you do this... Yeah, that's the problem, is that door is push prevents the key from activating it. Well, actually, there's a fairly simple solution to that. You instead... let's back up a bit. Do key is push over on the left side. Then you push this to disable door is more. And then you do key is more. And then key is more should punch through both doors. No, it doesn't actually. So, yeah, because key is push is actually disabling me now. So I need to disable this first then. Or do I just need a way to kind of race this over? Yeah, I need to rethink how to do this crossover here. That's the issue. Because in any of these directions, that's pushable. Yeah, so Green Star, the thing that's going on here is that when you have certain rules that are bunched up against walls and corners, that prevents you from manipulating them further. So because open is in the bottom left corner, you can't assign any other objects to something is open. Right now, open is completely locked to the condition that says key is open. Because you just can't fit anything else in that space, if you understand what I'm saying. So when you have things that are against walls like this, they prevent you from using them in certain configurations. I think we should have been thinking about how to use door as push to reposition the doors. And yeah, more multiplies the key. However, if you multiply the keys and then push more out of the way... Yeah, actually, no, I know how to do it. I know how to do it. We actually had the right idea. We do key as push. I need to push the doors, I think, tightly, and then... Problem with doing key as push over here, though, is that once the keys get into this corridor, you can't progress past them until you find a way to disable key as push. You can disable key as push by doing it up here. And yeah, open can't begin a rule either, and that's yeah, that should answer Green Star's question. So basically, whenever you have something that is on a colored background, it means that you can't use it as the start of one of the sentences. You can only end with them. And as I was saying earlier in the stream before you came in, it leads to some really interesting consequences for noticing solutions involving elements such as empty, for instance, because empty is not on a colored background, so you can actually transform empty squares into other things and set conditions on them. Okay, so if we do key as push, so what are we going for here? We need to have the keys hop through the doors, but then I need a way to disable key as push so I'm able to walk through the keys. What I can do is I can do like a temporary key and doors more, or like you do door is, you do like key is more, you push, and then you do this. And then hopefully you spawn enough keys to actually break through all that stuff. Now, one thing you can also do is if you prepare door is push over in this location, then you're able to minimize the number of doors that you deal with by having fewer spawning locations available to them. In fact, it might even be advisable to constrain them a little further up top. I don't know. But yeah, eventually, as you can see, we disabled our ability to access this. We would need a key as push and door as push to... Yeah, but the issue is that if the keys flood this location, you can't get through, I think. Unless you get ahead of the keys. And so the top two keys would pop the doors, and then you would have an open space to run through. So you would follow the keys out and just let them flood. So, for example, you do key as pushed just to do the initial position. And yeah, so I want to stay ahead of the key somehow. Except I think if key is... Yeah, key as push will be disabled. The keys will spawn on top of me. The keys that hit the doors will become empty squares, and I should be able to stay ahead of the keys the rest of the way. And actually, no, key as push will be disabled, so that's not an issue. Door as push is a problem. But let's move this back a bit. And then try to get ahead of this location here, like this. Ah, no, because door as push is disabling this right now. So we need to not do that. If that's the case, though, then I think like we actually do need to use key as push down here. Yeah, and Like I was saying, it's possible to do a temporary key as more. And then you spawn 2 keys, or a sufficient number of keys to expand. So like this, except I need more keys. Like this. Okay, now we've got tons of keys. And then we just push the keys. Keys won't hit the doors because doors stop. No, I think doors push was the issue there. Because the stop interaction is fairly normal when you have the open and shut collision, right? Like the open and shut collision overrides stop. Anyway, this is the solution. I just needed to... I had the right idea much earlier. I just needed enough keys to spawn. And the way you get enough keys to spawn is to push doors together to limit the number of additional doors that keep pace. Yeah, the doors didn't get pushed because key is push was disabled, I think, but I think what's going on there is that it's an interaction between when you have push and pull and more. They have a collision that overrides any kind of overlap. And I actually saw this in a puzzle earlier that was using a similar flood mechanic. I'll see if I can show you which puzzle that was, if I can find it. Anyway, I'm not going to be doing 100% on this stream, obviously. I may go through that gate up front, but let me see if I can find... Yeah, here it is, Old Sewer. So, for example, you can see here that pull, which has the same collision logic as push, is the thing that is blocking more. If you punch this out, then this floods, like that. Because then the water is sink interaction is actually going to override everything else. But the fact that rock is pull prevents water is sink from activating because it acts as a stopper. So for this puzzle, what we did was we broke the pull chain. And once you break the pull chain, then you're able to go through like this, because rock is pull, whoops, where am I? Just remains in place. So that's how I knew the interaction between push-pull and more that we saw earlier. Anyway, I want to see what the gate is here in the museum zone. We've barely cracked the new contents. This is just the first of 2 entire worlds or campaigns that were patched in. Okay, so that opens up, but then that's not accessible yet, which is interesting. I think it implies to me that we actually need to do a total completion of either of these to get to this zone. Which will be fun. We'll do it eventually, just not today. Because, yeah, there might be some kind of zone manipulation that allows you to use the galleries as... Oh, no, you pop out here, and then it says warning. Okay. Interesting that this didn't update earlier when I was here, so let's do it. Level 1, warning. The following levels will spoil some large game mechanics, so beating base game's world map is recommended. I have beaten it in the past. I'm perfectly happy to see this. I didn't quite get a total 100%, but I have seen the secret worlds in the original campaigns, so I'm glad they have this, actually, because the original endgame mechanics are so interesting, and revealing them in the main game is really one of my favorite things about the original experience. More unused levels. Yeah, let's just see a few. And yeah, it's this is the meta stuff. That's a very, very late game. Using some of the map manipulation. And I remember that from the secret levels. Because, yeah, currently we're on the level map, but we're also manipulating everything here in a playable fashion. So, we have a couple of people here who have not played this game before, of course, who are asking me questions about it. I guess we just spoiled a massive thing, but that's okay. I was kind of curious. And the thing is, you know, it's not like I'm just going to not play the content. Just because of that. Anyway, level is a win. We can do that. Let's do that. And complete that. And then what does that give me? Does that... Okay. Opens up the map area here. But of course we can go back in and... Oh, okay. You should stop letting me spoil you. Yeah, so this is really just a new museum content. Let me show you how this looks, actually. Because this patch just came out today, as I was saying. And so your existing save files... This is not my original save. My original save was way further along. But it would take your original campaign and split it into a couple of sub-files. So we have the museum file, which was what I was running today, as well as the entire New Adventures campaign, which we haven't even begun to take a look at yet. But yeah, it's entirely free content, and it is now out on all platforms. So well worth going back to some of this stuff. And yeah, I just want to take a look here. And thank you for dropping by, regardless, Jello Mogas, along with everybody else who came in with the Extra Typos raid much earlier. I will not be staying on for too much longer. I think we might save this for... Well, let's see, because I wanted to see some of the custom content as well, since that was new. And I may or may not actually complete this. Let's get in here, though. And wow, this is interesting. Shift and shift and shift. I guess that's more of a decorative thing. All the redundant shifting isn't actually doing anything, but let's take a look at this thing here. Oh no, it will be doing something, because if you move the screen, then some of the conditions are going to move off screen, so... Another level made for the endgame meta content. Yeah, some of the best stuff in the game. Yeah, we might actually hold off on this one for now, actually. I want to see some of the custom featured content for the first time. And so this is a kind of a natural place to interrupt the museum campaign, and we'll probably finish it in a second sitting. Now... Yeah, the thing I wanted to look at was... So... If I do a second stream of this, we'll do more of the museum content and also take a look at the New Adventures, which I haven't started. But I also wanted to see what people have been doing with the Maker mode, because so the game had been beta testing the level editor for quite a long time on PC before the final release, and that's why we've got a ton of levels that have kind of been pre-seeded into this. And so we can just look at these. I think they're all developer curated to some extent, and might do something interesting for us. So this is Highway 91 by Panelwood. Very zoomed in. A couple of new elements we haven't seen before, of course. Car and dog and all that. Okay, so we want to touch the flag, probably using dog as you. Now, in order to use dog as you, we need to move Baba is you, perhaps. Or, well, no, I mean, we can move car, probably. And then we can't do dog is Baba, because dog is remaining as a dog, so this level is entirely about setting up dog is you, I think. I think I know how to do this. We just need to do this typical kind of push sequence. And probably lower everything down to the road and then loop it back up somehow. We actually just need to create like one tile of space here. So, if, for example, you do this, and then you manipulate the other is to create something vertical, that's probably not going to work spacing-wise, because eventually we want... well, we need you to be pushable somehow. We haven't thought about using the push condition. That might be really important here. We can also do the diagonal, or rather to create the corner to move both Baba and Car at once, which is a pretty typical maneuver throughout the game. Okay, move Baba, push this. And we can probably move this. Wait, no, we need to... hang on. This doesn't solve the problem, though. Because we can't get you into this position in order for it to cross over. But... if we manipulate everything here, and if we kind of strategically raise this entire stack, no, it still won't do it. We need to think about what the sort of second last step is going to be in terms of what the state of the level will look like prior to the last push. And whoops, I accidentally pushed the push over to the corner. That was a bad idea. So what's the final state going to look like? We can have like a something is you, and then we push to the left. Now how do we get that loop? Like, yeah, I think it's got to be in this middle position here. Something is you. You needs to be in this position. Then we push. And in order to do that, once again, we should do this. And we can continue. Yeah, no. Okay, Baba and Car are convertible to each other. That's actually really important. Except I don't see why we would want to duplicate. The only reason we would want to duplicate is if we would need to do some kind of like simultaneous push. I was thinking that like you would want something like is to be in this position. Raise the whole thing from there. Something is you down here, something is you down here. Yeah, it looks like everything is just like 2 spots away from what we need. Notice that you can also transform things into wall. And do like a wall is you. Or no, I mean you can't do wall is you, but you can transform one of these elements into a wall. Which might be interesting because, okay, so for example, let's say, just to demonstrate this, we get car is a wall. There's nothing preventing that. I'm thinking about what position that might be useful in. Like if you have some kind of overlap, for instance. Whoops. Then you can overlap an element with the wall. But why would you ever want to do that? Dog is dog, dog is push. Possibly you can do something to displace the dog. No, I think it has to end with dog is you. It's just a question of... Okay, no, let's say you overlap text with the wall. And then you use that as a pushing element. Because right now you can't actually overlap any of these things with the wall. But if, for instance, you had... no, because when you have 2 wall pieces beside each other, one of them is still going to enforce stop on the other one, so never mind that. Dog is car. No, dog is not going to be anything. You can potentially do something to disable an existing rule, perhaps, using his wall. Okay, so something is wall actually seems like the most promising idea here so far. Whoops. Very curious. What is this? Highway 91. Okay. It's the title. The title's not going to give us anything. But is... Hang on. So we have a couple of things we can do. We can double these elements by transforming either Baba or the car into each other. We can then transform either of them into a wall, but wall is not going to be you. However, we do transform either of these into a wall. Let's see, reposition this down to here. Like, we can get some kind of split push using the prison mechanic. If I... the prison mechanic is a little bit difficult to describe if you haven't played the original game. I think this is actually literally the prison mechanic. So there's a particular level in the main game which is kind of notorious because it's one that seems obtuse until you think about the way that rules are logically resolved. Which is that you can overlap text and then use the overlap to split a block of text that looks like it is sort of intrinsically connected. So, for example, if you have... Let's get some of this out of the way. The wall is actually still a problem for this, though. Once we go up here... Yeah, okay, so... Let's move everything back up. Car is you. The problem is that in order to do the split, I think we need to get everything into that position to begin with. So yeah, notice this, that when you move this now, you get car is you get Baba overlapping car. We need to do like the opposite of that. And notice how you can do a split. So I have one slight ordering problem here. And it's probably going to be something to do with the push interaction. Like this. If we park Baba underneath the is, and then we get Baba to split, then that would be one way to do it. In order to do that, I need to reposition a few things in a way that is perhaps a little bit fuzzy. Yeah, we need to get a few of these things dislodged here. Also, one thing I hadn't considered is that you can also still make the cross formation, which is like if you get this position, you make the cross formation, then you can push things appropriately. Although probably not that way. Yeah, I want to park Baba down here. Baba is push. Yeah, we'll just push like that. And then if there's no push interaction, then we can push like this. Car as you remains active. We do have a slight problem now. I'm out of position for what I want to do. I'm quite close to getting it, but yeah, as you can see, I would need to wrap back around. That throws me out of the intended position. So it's going to be a bit of a positional trick here, but I believe we can make it work. So you have Baba is you. I should be able to punch the car text over here. Yep, this is how you do it. Car is you. And then car pushes this to the right, and we get it. Took me a while to set up, but I knew what I was aiming for. Let's do another one, just to see a few more. And yeah, we'll just go left and right. Still a ball. Okay, flag is win. Cliff is Rosie. Rosie is a totally new thing. Actually, both Pink and Rosie look like they're kind of custom. Ah, okay, no, it's a sentiment. Okay, this is a totally new mechanic to me because it's not in the base game, but it's a property that's attached to another element. So Baba feeling pink attaches the pink property to Baba. Or rather, it's a condition check. Baba is pink is the condition assignment, and Baba feeling pink is the condition check. And Rosie is the same kind of idea, except using a different property. So Cliff feeling Rosie is stopped. The Cliff is going to remain the Cliff. Baba feeling pink is you. Can we manipulate that somehow? Yes, we can. We can do this. We just do Baba is pink. Like that. That frees us up. Now, what if you do Cliff is pink and Cliff is Rosie? Do those conditions simultaneously activate? They do, and it adds a blinking effect, but the condition actually is simultaneously valid. As you can see, both from the way the properties light up and from the fact that I was not able to push through the wall. So in order to get over to flag as win, we need to disable the Cliff feeling Rosie. And either that, or we do Cliff is pink and Cliff is feeling pink as well. One way we would do that is we would just set up a standard, standard Baba is you. If we can do that. We just do... Hang on. Baba is pink. Set up Baba is you. And now everything else gets movable. And we can go Cliff is pink and Cliff feeling pink. And in fact, we can just transform the Cliff. I know we can't. We can't transform it into Baba, but we can probably do something else interesting here. I think the thing that I'm going for is Cliff feeling pink is you, and then I move as the Cliff and just move 2 spots down. The question is how we set this up. Fairly easy way to set this up. In fact, we just take is and bump Baba into position. Free up a couple of other elements. And then we can just set everything up from here, so. And we use the additional Baba is just to reposition you to the row that we're looking for. Yeah, because how many spots do we need? Cliff feeling pink is you. So this is going to be the correct spacing. We put pink over here. And then we do Cliff feeling pink. Need to reposition some of this. Reposition this. And then there we go. That's complete. Sure, let's do another one. Gravity demo. Baba is platformer. That's a lot of conditions on the right side that make this work. Oh, okay, so it's kind of a technical demo for how to make things using the nudge condition, which is new to me. This is, I think, a new mechanic added in the editor. So yeah, wind is shift, gives you a shift interaction, but notice that because I probably have a fall condition on me. There's a lot going on here. Yeah, actually this makes the rules a bit more readable if you just go on the rules screen when you pause. So it is the thing that I am controlling. Looks kind of like Totoro. And it gives you a couple of movement rules that are basically the physics conditions. Interesting that I'm looking at the 2 times or 3 times or whatever it is going on here. I guess it's the number of duplications. Although I don't know what the duplication does, like whether it just affects the positioning of the nudge. Like if you have multiple nudges. Yeah, I think that's what it is, actually. It's so the multiples here, the multipliers refer to how many nudges are going on. And that's important because if you read, say, the bottom right of that whole mess, at the bottom left, rather, you see stuff like is nudge and nudge and nudge. When you see is nudge and nudge and nudge, it translates to 3 times nudge. So yeah, I can see where that is. The thing that says it on star and facing down is nudge. When you look at it over here, the level actually says it on star and facing down is nudge and nudge and nudge, and that's the 3 times condition. So if you are on the star, well, let's try to get on the star and see how that goes. And yeah, so the mushrooms actually act as a bounce because fungus gives you a force-based nudge whenever you step on it directly. And in terms of the descent, you get nudged down whenever you are not on a ladder. So it's not using the fall condition, it's using the nudge condition just to control space in terms of what your falling speed is going to be. Interesting, level is auto. I don't know what that does. It eat cash. Oh, okay, yeah, it totally does eat cash. There's a lot going on here. So you can't step on a spike. You can get onto wind, and the wind will shift you. So we got a star and... Ah, yes, so it's like a sort of Super Mario Galaxy kind of mechanic almost, where when you read the condition that says it on star and facing down, that means that you can get on top of the star and hit the down button. Once you hit the down button, then the star gives you a boost. Like that, and then it blows you over. What is level is auto, though? So yeah, let's try to collect all the cash just to play with the mechanics a bit. Ah, yeah, okay, so it's the mushroom... Whoops. Over here that gets you to cash. So I've got all 3. Then we bounce up, and that is a clear. Really interesting to see how that was implemented. We can probably finish the first page of the features, depending, of course, on the difficulty of the puzzles. This is another one by Panelwood, who made the car level earlier on. Now let's see how many of these we can do. Interesting that the is here is... Oh, it's directly on top of a push. Rock is not you, rock is open. Wall is stop. Okay, rock is not you does that. Setting up Baba is you allows you to manipulate the other is and push, although currently I don't see a good way to do that. You can also do Baba is rock. Except rock is you is not going to do anything. Rock is Baba is possible though. That's not... Oh no, rock is rock constraints that. That's not possible. Never mind. So rock is open. We need to get one of the rocks over to the key door. Probably by finding some way to displace that push. Now, once again, knowing this maker's previous level, I think it probably uses the sort of prison wall push mechanic, where you need to kind of get on top of that overlap and then split it. Yeah, no, I know how to do it. Baba is you, then you do rock is push using the overlap, and the overlap condition works perfectly. There we go, that's done. So the thing that this was using was the fact that you can, in the editor, apparently stack elements on top of each other. And I do know that from the editor, in fact, because there is this layering tool that allows you to create up to 3 layers like you would in a paint tool. Or like in a graphics editing tool in general. And I think that's basically like a tech demo of the leveling, of the sort of level layer feature, because that allows you to create overlays of up to 3 objects on spawn. Let's do the rest of these, on this page at least. Okay. W is S, F is W. Now, here's the neat thing about this, for the people who came in from Scrabble, that you can actually make anagram puzzles in this game. And it's kind of this niche mechanic that's shown off somewhat far along in the original game, but in the original campaign levels, rather. But we are probably going to be manipulating letters here to make words. What's the title here? Resource management. We might not be, I'm not sure. But when you put words together in a certain way, you can definitely turn them into playable elements. And so I'm just looking at this and wondering, using the letters that we have available, what would in fact be available. Anyway, R is P, W is S, F is W. Water is, that's sort of interesting, because I wonder if that is like the equivalent of a sink. Oh, I see. I think this is like a kind of substitution in a way, where B is belt is doing something for you. So let's say well, just think about what kind of interactions are possible at this point. R is P. What if we just swap this? There's nothing this affects right now, though. We know that water seems to be behaving like a sink. There's that up arrow as well. I'm not sure I actually know the mechanics in this one. I mean, you have 3 spaces that are available. You can basically push 3 tiles down in order to connect to K or the Ba. Very, very abstract. Looks like the water does sink. Very curious. Oh, I see. Okay, no. The rules... Okay, the letters are actually being used as substitute sprites for things that are standard elements in the game. So you can reveal that by pausing. Yeah, these are just abstract representations of things that are already in the game. So this is just Raucous Push. Baba is you, Kiki is sleep. So Kiki is down here as the orange blob. So everything just looks abstract. But the elements are all totally familiar, except of course for the sleep mechanic, which I think is new. Flag is when water is sink, belt is shift, wall is stop. I don't know how the sleep mechanic works. I assume that we need to poke Kiki. Or we just use sink, in fact, to do that instead. We can probably afford to sacrifice an is. Then. Ah yeah, K is Z is what is enforcing Kiki's sleepiness. If we disable this, then Kiki wakes up. Or not. Baba is you, yeah. We can change Kiki to me for whatever reason. B is up. Now what is this? I guess that is belt. Because it is shifting me up. Flag is a win, Kiki is you. What is this Z here? Oh, Z is sleep. What is this blob then? Yeah, the flag is win. I guess the triangle would represent the flag. Yeah, Kiki is you. Do we even have a rock? Oh, this is a rock. Okay, rock is push then. Now, why would we want that? The water is sink. We need to think about how we can create that many tiles of space. Belted shift wall is stop. Now what happens if a rock is asleep? It doesn't get pushed, but I actually don't know about those rules in conjunction. So for example, if we push this up, and then go rock is push. What happens if you try to push a sleeping object? I don't know the sleep mechanic, and that's really the main restriction here. Water is sink, belt to shift, wall is stop. I mean, you can wake it. I guess if you have sleep, and then you manipulate it like this. Baba is push, rock is sleep. Yeah, I guess if you push an object onto something sleeping, then you wake it up. Now, what would be the purpose of that? Unfortunately, I just don't know the mechanic from not having played it previously. Kiki is you. We can try to figure it out on the fly, of course. Yeah, you can put Baba to sleep. I feel like there might be some kind of letter combination that would maybe give me something uncommon. But if it's just abstract substitutions, though, then I don't know. I mean, the way to do this seems to be to create some kind of path using object transformations. Just cut through all the water at once. So the question is, do we have some way to do like a duplication or... Yeah, I'll have to think about that. I mean, you can manipulate how many objects. You've got Kiki, Rock, and Baba. Sleep becomes available when you overlap. I actually kind of think that, let's say you have Rock as push and Rock as sleep. We'll do Rock as push first. Because here's what I'm going to try. And then we'll try to add Rock as sleep now that it's in that new position. And then I'm going to see what happens when I use the belt. No, Rock as push is going to prevent me from going there. Yeah, that's just a shift. I wonder if you can do like some kind of alternation. And generate additional elements somehow. Doesn't look like a... That belt shift, I wonder what it's actually doing for me. Not much, but it looks a bit. Yeah, I think I need to learn the sleep mechanic before I can play this one. Because it needs to be introduced in its proper context, by the way. Well, we finished these ones here. Let's see. Now, when you pull up featured levels, it doesn't show you which ones you've already beaten. Let's take a look at this one. We'll probably close on this one, depending on how it goes. Now, anything that we don't know about here? Wow. There's a powered condition, and there's a powered generation condition. Baba on ice and facing the wall is power. Yeah, some of these, I wonder if they're editor-exclusive mechanics, not having played the new adventure yet. On ice and facing wall, the ice is currently not next to a wall. The power station would be this bit on the right side here. So the idea is that you would come over here, and the power text facing empty is move. Oh, interesting. That is a teleport. Huh. This is quite a lot to look at mechanically. So many rules. Baba on ice and facing wall is the power. Baba is you. Baba feeling 3D is not you. Oh, that's interesting. Because nothing else interacts with the 3D condition, you're just not feeling 3D, I guess. Fofo is best. Best is actually a condition that does exist in the original game, but has a bit of an Easter egg that you can't actually manipulate. Okay, I think I see what's going on here. That if you look at the right side conditions, every time you fulfill some condition here, why does power to move everything that way? Yeah, there is some kind of level manipulation here. Powered text facing empty is move. Ah, okay. So the powered text, I wonder if the power is a global thing, that powers the whole level. I think it might be. But the text would be placed with a certain facing direction, which is totally invisible to the player because text doesn't seem to face a certain way. And every time you do that, it manipulates some of the relevant conditions. So now it's creating Baba's move, which, yeah, I just need to click through in order to let it scroll. Hang on. Yeah, so the idea is that you go back and forth to the ice repeatedly. Oh, now that's interesting. That you have a 3D engine here. Wow. Except I have no idea where to go from here. Looks basically like Doom. Except perhaps not quite. Let's back up and undo, actually. Let me just see what I can do. Yeah, you need to navigate throughout this entire level. Interesting that when you look at the right side, when you power through to the next condition, that it is Baba is not 3D. Although the not 3D is not in sequence, so Baba is 3D and the Baba is not, is kind of overlapping. So there's something mechanical that happens here that disables you out of that. But if we look at this carefully, we should be able to remember how to get back just by following the corridor. Yeah, so there's the block of ice. And then we just follow the only way we're supposed to go. This is really interesting. Except now I'm on a frog pond. And I can actually see where I'm going. I have to basically reconstruct it from memory, I think. Let's go back. Yeah, in some ways, some of the custom puzzles are giving away some of the new mechanics for me, but we'll have to play the New Adventures campaign, I think, to see if much of this is put to good use. Yeah, so when I pop out, I want to pass by the pond, go through the corridor, past the frog and all that. You need to follow the frogs, actually. I think that's the best way to do this navigationally. And, yeah. Need to figure out my orientation here. It looks like I'm facing west when I do that. Or facing... Oh no, I'm facing away from the wall on the top left. So I turn left, then right, left. It does require a bit of memory. Hang on, left. Oh no, I see. It's based on first-person direction, so I actually don't know. It's very entertaining, but also perhaps a bit of an eyesore. Yeah, so yeah, this is the initial position. We go through here. We then go around like this. Path is actually going to be fairly linear. That guy's going to block me. He doesn't do anything. I will follow a frog. Very easy to get lost. Oh, you can pick up the frog. Interesting. Or not. False alarm. Anyway, yeah, you need to make it to the teleporter. At the very end. Follow the frogs. Yeah, it's a little disorienting. Let me see about this, because I'm trying to figure out whether I can just recreate all of that from memory. Like, I think I got fairly far along with the frogs. Yeah, there's quite a lot more to see in this one, though. I think we might have to go back to this one. I'm just curious about the mechanic. But I'm kind of near the end of how long I can run today, unfortunately. So we barely scratched the surface of this. We looked at Museum minus the Last World, which gets into some of the advanced mechanics in the game. And even so, when it comes to the museum file, we actually only got through a little bit of it. Because, yeah, we've got this world down. We got so many more puzzles to see, in fact. And we got through spoiler protection, yeah. So yeah, it did not even begin to crack the new campaign. So we'll have to save that for another stream. I think that despite some of the way the pace is liable to sag when I take longer than usual with a given puzzle, or wind up bailing on it, as I had to do with a few today. Maybe it's not the most interesting to watch, but yeah, good that we could get one playtest in of some new user content, and I'm sure there's going to be more coming. We will likely be back to Mario Maker this weekend, but Baba Is You will probably be our main midweek feature for at least the next little while as we try to get through some of the standard content in this package. So that will be all for today. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for witnessing just a little bit of everything, and of course, much appreciation for the Scrabble raid that came in from Axer Typo a little while ago. That's all for me today. Stay tuned for a micro scale raid of somebody or other. We'll find someone. And as always, have a great week ahead of you. Enjoy life on and off Twitch. And fare thee well.